first thing we have to do is make a ring. I like to use the adjustable ring. You can do a chain, like a chain 5, and join to your first stitch to make a ring, but I like to use the adjustable ring. And the way I do that is I just make a loop here, and then with my hook, insert my hook in the center, grab the yarn and pull it through. Then I'm going to make my first chains, which I'm going to make 4. 4 chains. That's going to count as a double crochet chain 1. Then I'm going to wrap around to make another double crochet inserting into the center of my ring again. Yarn over it and pull through, and I'm going to make a double crochet. I'm trying to watch the video and do my work at the same time. Now I'm going to chain 1. I'm going to make another double crochet in that ring, right in the center of that ring. Now that means I have 3 double crochets, 2 chain 1s so far. Chain 1, make another double crochet. Remember, I'm going right in the center of that ring. Now I have 1, 2, 3, 4. I want to have 8. So I'm going to chain 1, yarn over, and I'm going to go again right in the center of that ring. Go through. I'm not keeping my tension there. Do that again. Chain 1, make another double crochet. Now how many do we have? Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now I need 8, so I need 2 more. Chain 1, make another double crochet. Chain 1, and make another double crochet. Now I should have 8 double crochets. Let's count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I have my 8 double crochets. I'm going to tighten this up by pulling on the strand, the loose strand. Now I have almost no hole in this circle now. I'm going to join to the 3rd chain of my beginning chain 4. So here's my 2nd double crochet. So this would be my chain 1 here. And here's my 3rd chain. So I'm going to insert my hook in there. Yarn over and pull through that stitch and the loop on my hook to make a slip stitch. Then I'm going to slip stitch between this stitch that I just joined, my slip stitch to, and the 2nd stitch. Right in between there, that's where I'm going to go. And I'm going to make another slip stitch. Yarn over and pull through that space and the loop on the hook. Now I'm going to make a corner here. I'm going to do a chain up. You can do 2 or 3, whatever. I usually do 2, but I'm going to do 3 for purposes of this demonstration. And I'm going to make another double crochet in that same spot. Now I'm going to chain 3. 1, 2, 3. Then I'm going to make a double crochet in this same space right there. And now I'm going to make another double crochet. So our corner here is 2 double crochets, chain 3, 2 double crochets. One of these double crochets being your chain up. Now in my next, between my next 2 double crochets here, I'm going to make 2 double crochets right in between them in that space. So now we have a corner. We have 2 double crochets for our side, and we're going to make another corner here in my next, between my next 2 double crochets. In other words, this is like a V. In between, I'm going to make another corner, which is going to be 2 double crochets, chain 3, 2 double crochets, okay. Now between my next 2 double crochets, or in the middle of my V, I'm going to make 2 double crochets for my second side. Now I'm going to make another corner between the next 2 double crochets. So that's 2 double crochets, chain 3, 2 double crochets in the same space, so far we have this side here, we have a second side, we're working on our third side. Between my next 2 double crochets, I'll make 2 double crochets right in that space. And now I'll make another corner between my next 2 double crochets, which is 2 double crochets, chain 3, 2 double crochets. If you prefer, you can chain 2 in that corner if it makes your piece lie flat. Between my last 2, I'm going to make 2 double crochets. Now we're back to the beginning, and we're going to insert our hook into the top chain of my 3 chains that started this round. And I'm going to make a slip stitch. Now you can see what we have so far. We have 8 double crochets separated by a chain 1. Then we have our round of corners, 2 double crochet, chain 3, 2 double crochets, and our side is 2 double crochets between the 2 double crochets below it, which is in the space of the V, or the chain 1 space. You might see that in the pattern written as chain 1 space. Now we're going to start our cross stitch round. We're going to make a slip stitch in the double crochet. Here's our corner. It's 2 double crochets, chain 3, 2 double crochets. We've already joined to this double crochet, so we have a stitch there. We're going to do a slip stitch in the next stitch, and then we're going to do a slip stitch in the corner space because we want to get back to our corner. Okay, now we're going to chain up 2 or 3, whatever you need. We're going to make another corner here. It's going to be the same as the previous row. Chain 2 double crochets, chain 3, 2 double crochets. There's our corner. Now we're going to start making our cross stitches. Now what a cross stitch is you're going to skip one stitch, you're going to work into the next stitch, then you're going to come back and work into this stitch. So we're going to yarn over, we're going to skip this first stitch, we're going to make a double crochet in the second stitch. Now we're going to yarn over, and working in front of the stitch we just made, we're going to make a double crochet in the skip stitch. And that is our first cross stitch. Now we're going to do the same thing in the next, using the next 2 double crochets. Now you have to pay attention because you don't want to go back into these 2 you just worked. Now we have 6 sets of double crochets here, so we're going to go into the second set. We're going to skip this one and go into the next one and make a double crochet. Then we're going to go in front of the stitch we just made and make a double crochet in the next stitch, the stitch that we skipped. So that's 2 cross stitches made of double crochets. Now we're going to skip the next stitch and we're going to make a double crochet in the stitch after it. Then we're going to work in front of that stitch and we're going to work into the stitch we skipped. Now we're going to make a corner in our next space, chain 3 space. So that's 2 double crochets, chain 3, 2 double crochets. Now we're going to do the same thing that we did on this side here. We're going to skip one and work into the second one. And we're going to go in front of the one we just made into the skip stitch. I'm going to do that again, making sure that we don't go into the 2 that we already did. Skip one, go into the next one, and then go into the skipped one. And remember to work in front of the stitch you just made. Now in the next, we're going to skip this one and go into the next one. Then we're going to go into our skip stitch, remembering to cross in front. Now way back at a corner, so we're going to make another corner, 2 double crochets, chain 3, 2 double crochets, and we're going to do the same thing on this side. Skip one, double crochet into the next one, going in front of the stitch, double crochet in the skip stitch, skip one, go into the next one, go into the skip stitch, skip one, go into the next one, go into the skip stitch, back to a corner. Now we're going to go into the corner and make a double crochet, another double crochet, chain 3, 2 double crochets. Now we're on our last row, our last side. We're going to do the same thing. Skip one, go into the next one, go into the skipped one, take our next two, skip this one, go into the next one. Now go into the skipped one, crossing in front of the one we just made. Now we're at our last two stitches. We worked slip stitches in here, so it's going to be a little tight to get in there. Just work it through however you can. And then you go into the skip stitch. Again, it's going to be a little tight. And there you go. Now we're going to join with the slip stitch to the top of our beginning chain 3. Then we're going to do the same thing we did on the previous row. We're going to make a slip stitch in the next double crochet, so we have 2 slip stitches. And we're going to slip stitch in the corner space. We're going to chain up, make another double crochet. That'll be our first 2 double crochets of the corner. Chain 3, and work 2 double crochets in that corner. Now this next round will be worked exactly like the previous round, so I'm not going to go through the whole thing. I'll just show you first that we skipped this first stitch, we go into the next stitch, the double crochet. You can use the cross stitch with any stitch. It could be a triple or whatever, but we're using double in this instance. Then I go crossing in front of this stitch and make a double crochet in my skipped stitch. And I would do that all the way around. You see you have 2 here, 2 stitches here, 2 here, 2 here, 2 here. And then we'll make a corner in our next corner. In each chain 3 space you'll make a corner because you have a square. And along the sides you'll do cross stitches. And that's how to make that cross stitch there. You can make it as big as you want to or as small. You could stop here however you want to. The square pattern is for 6 inches. My daughter does other things. It's not just cross stitches. You have a finishing to it. But this is how to do the cross stitch part. Thank you for watching.